help with? Oh, thank you about that. So yeah, but now let's start, as we said, looking at the self-assessment results, and I'll try to make them bigger this time. I hope now everybody can see this. So these are, again, the results we obtained from the self-assessment tool, which was completed by 85 centers. Thank you so much to all of you for taking time to complete it. It is impressive. And yeah, I also wanted to ask here, so when you look at this graph, what do these results tell us? What do you read? Which are the most challenging standards? Do they impress you, or what is your reaction? Again, feel free to unmute yourself and jump in.
I don't know if the image could be made a little bit larger so that we could read the words.
Yeah,
I can read
will,
the words.
You cannot read, right?
We cannot see the details.
Okay, just hold on, because then what I will do is just directly share it as a presentation. Now it's better?
Yes, better, much better.
Perfect. So yes, just share any thoughts, as you can see, just to help you a little bit read this. So the green lines show the rate, like the levels of how many are yet implemented, are already implemented. The pink ones in progress, the red ones not implemented, and the yellow ones are non-applicable for any contextual or other circumstantial reasons. I cannot see the hands right now, so please just jump on mic or maybe write in the chat.
I'm having a look to see if I see hands.
Okay.
Anybody want to hop on? I'm seeing a lot of green on the screen if I were to react, right? I don't know what you think, but that tells me that there's an awful lot of work that's already going on with respect to the different standards we've set ourselves. What do you think of that? So we have a quiet panel today, but it's
well, we can always ask.
Pido la palabra, no sé si se escucha.
Yeah. Sí, perfecto. Sí. Ángela, ¿era usted?
Sí, mira, frente a los estándares como Centro de Atención Psicosocial en Colombia, terminamos para la Corte Interamericana de los Derechos Humanos un peritaje recién entregado la semana pasada, y además de aplicar muchas de las cosas que se aplican para un peritaje psicosocial, como las normas psicológicas de los DM5, además del protocolo de Estambul, logramos aplicar los estándares del IRCT. En el informe que entregamos y en su presentación dijimos que habíamos aplicado los estándares por primera vez realmente para un peritaje psicosocial internacional.
Genial, Ángela. Muchas gracias por...
Can you say a little bit more about the psychosocial auditing?
About the what?
Just the psychosocial auditing and what that looked like.
Angela, did you understand the question?
Bueno, el peritaje psicosocial fue solicitado por las organizaciones que tienen una demanda contra el Estado colombiano ante la Corte Interamericana, ante la Comisión, y ya subió a la Corte, y es la violación de derechos humanos durante más de 30 años a una de las organizaciones de derechos humanos más importantes de Colombia, que se llama el Colectivo José Alvear Restrepo. Ellos hace ya más de 10 años llevan un proceso ante la Corte por la violación de sus derechos para ejercer la defensa de los derechos humanos. Ellos han sido torturados psicológicamente, perseguidos, amenazados, han tenido atentados, no solo ellos, sino sus familias. Es decir, es primera vez en Colombia que una organización de derechos humanos como organización demanda al Estado colombiano por no permitir ejercer de buena manera y de mejor manera la defensa de los derechos humanos. Esto subió a la Corte Interamericana y el CAJAR nos solicitó hacer un peritaje de las personas de su institución y de la institución misma para encontrar el daño causado psicosocial individual y colectivo en el peritaje psicosocial. Ese fue el que presentamos, fue un trabajo muy arduo, hicimos un peritaje de más de 45 personas individualmente, tanto médica como psicológica, desde el enfoque de CAPS, y hicimos un peritaje también colectivo para identificar el daño causado psicosocial a la institución. Este peritaje fue entregado la semana pasada a la Corte Interamericana por parte nuestra como una de las pruebas ante la Corte Interamericana de la violación de los derechos humanos a esta institución. El proceso sigue, vamos a ver cómo termina, pero ese fue nuestro peritaje y nuestro aporte por la verdad, por la justicia y contra la impunidad en Colombia.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, Ángela, por compartir. De hecho, sí, de hecho intentaré hacer seguimiento de esto porque me interesaría a ver cómo se han podido encajar los estándares desde este trabajo. I can see there's a hand up from Lynn. Lynn, go ahead and unmute your mic and jump in.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Lynn Piwarsik, just a very brief observation. It looks like insofar as the green is concerned, implemented, the areas for greatest growth relate to survivor involvement, whether it be feedback or participation. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I would also add that it is also the area of greatest, quote unquote, in progress. So it just shows that there's an awareness of the need for engagement, and that programs across the world are focused on improving that.
Exactly. Thank you, Lynn. That's a very good point, and it was also something for us when we were looking at the results, right? Not to only focus on what the, let's say, red not implemented indicators are telling us, but also to look at the in progress ones. And actually, online with this both victim feedback and victim participation, they are very well aligned with one of the strategic areas in which we're focusing. We actually have I think we have Carmen online. Yes, she's leading this the project on survivor engagement. So yeah, just to know that there's this interlink here that will allow us to then correlate the work in these standards. And then there's Seidu. Seidu, yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. So as I look at the graph and the graphical analysis, it's quite interesting to actually see the reality and actually reflected in the graphs. My attention was also drawn to the victims' feedback in terms of not victims' feedback, but victims' participation in rehabilitation. Yeah, it's quite high. If I see it, especially the red one that I'm looking at, is of interest to me, actually, because we stand for the victims, and it was surprising to see that a lot of us now really have started doing something in that direction. And then the second concern has to do with the graph in its entirety when it comes to implemented and ongoing. I was just looking at, let's say, for instance, commitment to victims. This is supposed to be something that we need to be committed throughout during the lifespan of our organization's existence. Then for us to just be like implemented and then so what? So I see it should be more in line with the ongoing thing. Maybe started and still ongoing, then seeing implemented, because usually when it's implemented, then it has just come to an end. So we cannot, anyway, that's my own understanding, but that's yeah, thank you.
And we have, or Angela, is your hand down now? Yeah. Okay, Beth, I think we can go forward then.
Okay, well, thank you so much. This is, yeah, this also helps us understand and let's say maybe confirm and validate that we're all looking at the same and interpreting equally these results. And this obviously informs us as we move forward on this process on, you know, which standard you might need more help in the future. But actually, to even nail this even more, like to nail this even more down, we would like you to provide us with, and now I think you're back to seeing me. Yes, okay. Now, perfect. So yeah, to nail this even more down, we would like you to provide us your inputs, and we have prepared a cool Mentimeter, which is might sound new to you, but it's basically an interactive and instant feedback online platform. The only thing you need to do is to click on this link that I will be sharing now in the chat, or you can also scan the QR code that you see on screen. So I'm sharing now the link. So what you need to do is to go into this link and you will enter directly the activity. And I will actually share it on my screen. Just give me 2 seconds. I will do like this. There's a lot of screens here. But then I'll give you some time to start sharing your thoughts. So let's see what everybody is suggesting here. Andres and Lynn, I can see you have hands up. We'll just take them after this, if it's possible. So we take this, we focus now on this question. So this question says, indicate which one of these 3 standards is the most challenging for your center. And you need to click to the one you think is the most challenging, or any of the above. Wow, look at that. So victims participation, okay, which is very well in line with the self-assessment results.
And is everyone following that you can go online here using the link that provided in the chat? Yeah, the numbers are going up now.
But yeah, please let us know if there's any difficulty with that. Vale, okay. Well, I think people are still voting. I can see still people coming in. So, Well, so now access to justice and organizational capacity are kind of even. Well, I guess this is about it. So yeah, it's interesting. Well, Lisa and other colleagues who were in the call this morning, it's kind of the same results that we got in the morning session. So first, access to justice, organizational capacity, and the victim's participation. I don't know. Well, I see 3 hands up. Lynn, I don't know if that's an old hand, but otherwise, please jump in. And then on Andres and Paula. I think that was an old hand. So Andres, please go ahead.
Andres, are you there? It's your turn to speak.
Oh, I can see he's a bit frozen now.
Okay.
So maybe Paula, go ahead.
Yeah, it was just an observation on I suppose it looked like it was 20% of maybe organizations that were willing to kind of share experience, and I was wondering, was there any, is it a capacity issue, or did you get any feedback on why that might be?
Excuse me, Paula, on what exactly? It's just because I couldn't hear you.
On, I suppose on the members, I can't remember the exact language, but it was kind of willingness to share experience, I think, and expertise.
Yeah. So that's actually reflecting how many members shared experiences across across all the standards.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yes.
But I think, Paula, you point out something quite important in that the idea is that many more would be sharing as we move forward, because the resource base is so vast and we have a lot of resource strong organizations within IRCT. And so our hope would be that as time goes by and you get to know each other, like in a call like this, and we hear who's strong on which standard, that there might be an ability to go more directly to, a center who's working on victim participation to get that kind of feedback directly.
Yeah, that would be great.
Exactly. Noted. So I think we can move to the next question and last question. Don't worry, this is not an exam. So the next question says, which standard or standards would you like to work on to reinforce or improve its implementation in your center? And let me just actually, I think these are already votations from the last session, so we'll just add them on top. I think this one requires a bit of
link.
Yeah. So you should go to the next. Is it possible for you to go to the next?
It didn't give
question?
me it just kind of signed me out.
Paula, if you just click on it again, it brings you straight to it.
Yeah, great, thanks.
Oh, Lisa, you're muted. Yeah. And
sorry. Thanks. I would just interject that here the idea is to think about, maybe your center has a particular focus or a theme that you want to really work on or are working on. So this is the indication that we're looking for here.
Sorry, and I also see Abeyua. I don't know. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name correctly, but
yeah, good afternoon. So Courage, you can just call me Courage. It's okay.
Hey, Courage.
Yes. So in my center, I collaborate with MCT, that is Doctors Against Torture here in Rome. So my center is kind of cool and they are very cooperative, but I would like to work more on our commitment to victims. So because sometimes victims try, they try to get involved in the society, to do their activities, as in to become more social and integrate themselves into the life of like everybody living in the society. But sometimes it's not easy because they need assistance. They need extra assistance more than what we just offer to them. But it's not quite easy because in a community, as in a society today, it's not quite easy to offer everything, as in all the assistance. But we have to be more closer to them, to be more committed, to help them to help them to rise up, as in like a support, to give them a helping hand to rise up more, towards their goals, as in achieving what they really want, and help them to fix in and to adapt very well to the community and society.
Which then links back to also right, the project that Carmen is taking on survivor engagement. So I think we're seeing right, more and more let's say justification that this is an area we need to focus on and work on. So well, I can see in the chat. I apologize about the font, which is you're complaining it's small. It's just the program default. So this is something I cannot change, unfortunately.
May I say something?
Of course, Kalida, go ahead.
Yeah. You see, I just would like to share the current situation in my country, where the government has decided to offer re-registration to all the organizations which are working, all the NGOs. So it has become very, very difficult for us to, you see, to clearly define our mandate. That we are working against torture, because some years back it was really okay, but now, so we have developed a strategy that we are going to engage independent services, as well as we are for the last 3 years, and since our inception, our organization's inception, we have been engaging the relevant ministries to deliver access to justice, to work on rehabilitation, working with the government hospitals and like-minded officials. So now from Pakistan, we have decided to use these standards to educate within the government institution services, like hospitals, government and private both. So to during this process of re-registering our organization, we are now engaging the already existed government institutions. So and they are very willing to include victim participation. They are also convinced that access to justice should prevail. And there are now group of lawyers among in the bar associations who are really committed and who are appreciating these standards. So maybe at this point, we may not be measuring, able to measure the impact of these standards, but let's try these new models, engagement with the already sustained services, because unfortunately still in my country, the government services, however you see problematic they are, but they are the sustained services which are available. So we are using these standards to educate the relevant government authorities And we maybe after 1 year, we are able to measure. And for them, it's easy to, you see, we are sending our volunteers to the government institutions, say emergency services where the victims immediately come, because it's unfortunate that the torture has been, the practices of torture has been increasing day by day, suppressing the so many turmoils, political, economical. So from our part, I want all my you see, friend organizations just to understand. And then the capacity of the center and organization has also been compromised many times. And we have to, you see, close down our services, our centers. So these are the things which we are going through at the moment, but parallel we are developing because we very much believe that the ethical and sustainable services should be offered when it comes to funding, when it comes to services. The ethical and sustainable is our priority now, because short-term, seasonal, there are many groups who have their own vested interests. They may be using the victims.
Yeah.
But since our exception for the last 3 decades, we never compromise over our confidentiality, the victims' protection, the staff protection. So these are some comments from my side, but these standards are, at least we have a baseline to measure our work. I extremely appreciate.
Thank you very much.
Je suis en réunion avec mes partenaires, je t'appelle après. Ah, okay.
So thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Khalida. No, it's, I mean, I'm hearing about independent services, access to justice, again, victim participation, and I can see Carmen, our colleague, she has put her contact here, so don't hesitate to reach out to her if you have experiences to share. So yeah, it's well, I think we'll just move forward. Well, we'll look at the results actually, so we can clearly see that victims participation is the main one that you're all going to be focusing on, which is I think music to Carmen's ears. And yeah, then access to justice, victims feedback, organizational capacity, quality of life. And here we have a longer list. But yeah, this is, well, thank you so much for your inputs on that. We will definitely take this as a way to move forward, as a kind of a departure point. Yeah, Lisa, you want to say?
Just wanting to note that, again, here we have this a clear focus on victims' participation. Carmen has her hand up. Carmen, do you want to comment?
I actually wanted to ask a question to the people present here. I understand it's not the moment to have a big discussion. It's just to see if maybe 1 or 2 persons could briefly say what they understand by victims' participation in rehabilitation, because I just want to make sure that we're understanding the same thing. And I want to know whether they mean rehabilitation and, you know, or contributing to the service that they are receiving in any other ways, or like some of the centers have explained they do.
And Andres has his hand up. Go ahead, Andres, if you want to speak. Otherwise, maybe I'm actually mindful of the time. And this morning we actually did have some. Oh, sorry.
No, quería decir que en Bolivia hay una lógica un poco diferente, en el sentido que las víctimas se organizan. Las víctimas están organizadas y al ITI de colaborar con las organizaciones.
Gracias, Andres. Thank you so much for your input. I think maybe here, I mean, Carmen, it's maybe you can take these conversations bilateral with the centers that we've heard today. Also, remember there's a recording, so you can always go back and check which ones refer to participation of victims, so you can reach out to them directly. And otherwise, I'll just continue because we have a few things to discuss, or that we would like to discuss. Let me get back to this cool presentation. So now, let's speak. We would like to speak a bit about how to roll this out. How do you see this process happening in your centers? How do you see us best helping you in this process? Also helping each other. So the way we are seeing or looking at it is the self-assessment is now done and has given us a baseline. Also the activity, well, the questions we've gone through on Mentimeter. And maybe these are the departure point from which to move forward and get into action. That means we know now which standards are challenging, which others we are strong in, and that can help us think which are the ones or the standard in which we want to work on. And we want to make sure we encourage you all to take ownership of this project in your center, to reflect on which standards would you want to focus on, and also what makes sense to you regarding your context and circumstances. So I just wanted to, let's just move directly to here because I want to hear the discussion a little bit. I would like you to unmute and tell us how you envision this process to be happening in your centers. How is this discussion going or going to be in your organization about incorporating these standards? And how do you see this organizational change to happen? And I'll stop talking and give the floor to all of you. Ángela and Andrés, go ahead.
Gracias. Uno, el despliegue al interior de las organizaciones, pues es hacer el curso que dicen va a ser online o está a disposición online. Muy importante que cada una de las personas del equipo, de cada institución, de cada centro, haga el curso. Eso es muy importante, asumir al interior. Pero también hay que visualizar y dar a estas normas al mundo, y creo que el 26 de junio, día de conmemoración de apoyo a las víctimas de la tortura, es una oportunidad también para desplegar más públicamente nuestros estándares de rehabilitación. Creo que es una oportunidad cada 26 de junio que hacemos nuestros eventos nacionales, locales, en nuestras instituciones, tener en cuenta que podemos desplegar las normas más públicamente.
Totalmente. I've been asked about the interpreters to speak in English, but yeah, so thank you so much, Ángela. We do think it's the same. Actually, well, I don't know, maybe this is not the moment, but we are thinking already about the 26th of June. But anyway, this is maybe not the space. I'll just go to Andrés and Seidu. You have your hands up. Please unmute yourself.
Gracias. Sí, por favor. A mí los estándares son interesantes porque es un punto de referencia para reflexionar, para situarse. Ahora lo que me falta, y yo creo que sería importante, los puntos donde no hay una aplicación, sería interesante saber las causas, porque para poder responder hay que saber las causas. Hay puntos donde tiene que ver, por ejemplo, un tema de formación. Hay otros, un tema financiero. Por ejemplo, el tema financiero. Si hay un tema financiero para no poder aplicar, sería muy importante que si hay muchos, el IRCT reflexione qué significa eso y en qué medida puede intervenir hacia los organismos internacionales para decir, miren, son puntos fundamentales reconocidos por todas las organizaciones, pero los fondos no están previstos en debida forma para que se cumpla. Es un ejemplo simplemente, pero yo pienso que las causas serían interesantes a desarrollar. Gracias.
Muchas gracias, Andrés. It's obviously something that we'll have to look at the causes for sure. I'm just gonna invite Seydou to share your thoughts.
Thank you very much, Bella. Yeah, so our IRCT, firstly, the process was very good in the way we formulated the standards because we all make input into the process. So the day we got the finalized version of this standard, we saw ourselves already in it. We felt this ownership, this feeling of ownership, even though it was not exactly on the way, but we saw the logic, the way the entire information was framed, and we saw ourselves in it. So, and we've been analyzing it as a center. So what we did, through our analysis, we found out that sometimes situation changes, and sometimes that give rise to you paying attention, that give opportunity to pay attention to one standard, and then sometimes situations or conditions will come and another standard will be. So what we have done in consideration of that, we have integrated the entire standard into our 5-year strategic plan, and we just completed that. So what we are planning now is to do a rollout for firstly to our staff population to get them to fully understand and interpret the standards in a contextual way. That is what we are planning to do in the coming months. But we've already integrated that into our 5-year strategic plan. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to interject. I'm hopping right in. Fantastic work. Incorporating this into your organizational strategy and getting your whole team on board. And as another participant talked about, training, having all staff take the training. These are some really nice ideas. You can use the standard course. You can look at one standard or you can look at them all. It gives you a chance as organizational leaders to delve in. Thanks very much.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Yes, we really appreciate. Marianne, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a brief comment. I think the timing of this is really perfect. From my perspective in our center, and this may be a dynamic in other centers as well, it's kind of like this is a moment where the people who founded our center are retiring. And, you know, that's sort of been going on. And it is sort of a time of really energizing and training and sharing all the information that we have in the most effective way to this new generation of people who are doing the work. And that's really just my comment. It may be a dynamic in other centers, but there's almost a sort of a complete turnover that's been going on in the last couple of years. Thanks.
Interesting. And actually, well, maybe we don't have the time today, but I'm thinking, Marianne, in this sense, these e-course that we have designed to understand and reflect about the standards, and where you will also find your colleagues sharing their experiences, tips about how to put each one of the standards into practice, how they did it in their own centers, and then looking at some dilemmas and situations. Do you think that would be something that would help in this like new generational shift of new staff coming into the sector?
I hope so. I think my main concern is engaging the commitment and enthusiasm and all that spurred the founding of this movement, and to make sure that that is sustainable and carried on by new ones.
I would like to add, may I? May I?
Go ahead, Khalid.
Yeah, you see the same challenge I have been facing. I want to, we have been developing second line of, you see, activism and everything, but this work is so tense that retaining staff, retaining professionals is a great challenge, and educating and transferring our knowledge to the young generation is also very challenging from Pakistan. It's just like USA, Marian has been saying. So, but then that's why we have developed this strategy to engage government institutions, because their jobs are regular. So we are engaging now the professionals within the government hospitals, then within the judiciary, and to, you see, to keep our work, protect the continuation of our work. So the doctors who are involved, they just do USMLE or PLAP and they move. They use the reputation of the organization and the challenging work, and then they move, and now they are in UK, US, are doctors, are lawyers. So, but it's an ongoing struggle to engage young generation and have same commitment. I believe it's never going to be, because this work is very, very, you see, challenging. It's not a fancy work.
Thank you. Yeah, Khalid and Marianne, it's a very good reminder and a very good point for the future of this anti-torture work. But I'll just say, I'm mindful we only have two more minutes, and I know we won't have time then to look at the e-course, which is fine. I'll then set up another meeting soon to go through, to walk you through the e-course. But we do want to show you a very cool video that we made, and I will just show you the 2-minute one, which is on social media. Let me share my screen here.
Hello and namaste. My name is Suraj Koirala. I'm technical advisor at TPA Nepal and council member of International Rehabilitation Council for torture victims.
Everyone, my name is Peace Avola, and I'm the social work coordinator working with African Center for Treatment and Rehabilitation of Torture Victims in Uganda.
Hi, my name is Maite Samakona, and I'm a senior advisor at the Swedish Red Cross Health and Care Department, and this is my colleague Alexandra Torén.
Un cordial saludo del equipo de estudios comunitarios y acción psicosocial de CAP.
My name is Lenny Raghuvanshi. I'm a founder of the People's Witness Committee on Human Rights, the member center of the IRCT.
Hi, my name is Hannah, and I'm the clinical case manager at Survivors of Torture International in San Diego, California.
We have developed a practice guide on the global standards of the IRCT in the rehabilitation of torture victims. These standards are based on ethical values we all share.
The goal is to support member centres with the continuous improvement of the quality and effectiveness of their services.
Our mission and practice are built around do not harm principle and ensure the safety of torture survivors.
MAG fully subscribe to international standard for the care and treatment of torture survivors and their families as we commit to be patient-centered.
Nous allons appuyer nos efforts pour prévenir la torture. Nous allons lutter contre l'impunité et nous allons offrir une réparation et une réadaptation globale aux victimes de torture.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So folks, this video is available for you all to use if you want to talk to your teammates, to inspire them, to motivate them. If this is not new thinking, I don't know what is. So please use this as an introduction to donors, to your staff at a staff meeting, and then you can delve into one or many of the different standards. And Berta's going to briefly show you what the e-course looks like. We're going to ask you to hang on for 5 minutes more. If you have to leave, you have to leave. But those who are super curious are going to see what the e-course looks like. Back to you, Berta.
There we go. So the first thing you will have to do, if you haven't done so, is to sign up onto Fabo. So you basically need to create a user. I'll just enter with my account here. So the e-course on the global standards, I will send you the link. Also, I mean, the link will be shared with you on social media, on email, throughout many other ways. So yeah, we'll make sure you have it. So the e-course looks like this. Basically, what you can see here on the left side is the different sections or modules. As you can see, each standard is one different module, and they all have the same structure, meaning, well, this is the welcome section. But if you see, you can scroll down. This is the cool video that you've seen, but it's just longer. Also for you to share, it's on YouTube. Then if you scroll to the right, from this arrow here, it will take you directly through the next module. And you will see that all of these modules are, have the same structure. So you will see the definition of the standard. You will see a very cool illustration that our graphic designer Malak, sitting in Tripoli, has been designing. And then you'll see the videos in which you all contributed to. So basically the standard explained by you. Then as you scroll down, you will find 2 activities under each one of the standards. Most of them will be a situation or a dilemma. So we give you a situation, and here we ask you to share which one of the different options you would adopt, or what you think would be the best intervention in that situation. Then here you see that this is a different format of this kind of activity, in which you only need to indicate whether it's a bad practice or a good practice. And then, yeah, then you continue to the next standard. All in all, I'm not going to go obviously through all the standards, but all in all, the final evaluation here, once you have completed this final evaluation, which you will see it's just a couple of basic questions to see what, how useful this e-course has been. And once you have completed all the exercises and this final evaluation, then you will be able to get a certificate of completion with your name, the name of the course, the date, and so yeah, that would be available. You will be able to download it in a PDF, print it out, hang it on your walls, and feel proud about it. Show it also to if you receive visits from international agencies or the UN Voluntary Trust Fund, sorry. Yeah, just among others. Just be proud of this work. And yeah, that's I'm mindful of time. I won't take longer here. Just quickly, if there's any question about it, again, I will share the link with all of you. I will actually put it now in the chat. Peter, I can see you're unmuted. Is because you want to speak or say something? Okay.
I think we're seeing many people thanking for this information. The link will be sent out. We do encourage you in each of your organizations, right, to think about how you approach this, not just as an individual, but as an organization. And it might be the chance, you know, it's free, it's done, it's here, please use it. Maybe you want to present it at a staff meeting. Maybe you want to focus on one of these standards together. Sit your team around a table, put the video on the screen, and do a session on victim participation and work through the dilemma together. Or tell your staff or ask your staff if they want to do it individually, and then they can get a certificate at the end of time. It gives a lot of options here. So I would only, from our IRCT side, encourage you to use this. You've all been part of developing it. You'll find some cameo appearances on videos and cool music involved and embedded. We really hope to see you online using it on the FABO site. And we also welcome your feedback. If there's anything you would like changed or edited, if you find some mistakes, feel free to tell us. We're proud of this and we hope you will also be proud of it. And we hope ultimately it will improve our service to torture survivors and our work to eradicate torture around the globe. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. And yeah,
Thank
please
you.
reach out
Thank
if there's
you.
any.
Nice to
Thank
see you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you.
Ahmed,
All,
Justice, Luisa.
Thank you,
all
Berta.
the efforts, all the
Jose
efforts are
Miguel.
much
Thank you, Lisa.
appreciated.
Thank you,
You're
Berta.
welcome.
I'm saying all the names.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
So
you
nice
very
to see you
much.
all.
Gracias a
Saludos, que estén
todos.
bien.
Saludos.
Ciao, everyone.
Bonjour,
Felicitaciones.
Charbonel.
Gracias, Chabanel.
Yes.
Gracias. Merci.
Congratulations.
Merci.
Merci, merci, merci.
À tout à l'heure.
Gracias.
À tout à l'heure.
A
Gracias.
tout à l'heure.
De nada.
À tout à l'heure.
Thank you all. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all.